Hi viewers, this is Vineet and with me I've got Abhishek Sawant. He's Vice President Sales and he has got experience of more than 10 years in sales industry. So this video is all about what it takes to be a Vice President Sales in a startup, and this is for all those startup enthusiasts, all those entrepreneurs who wish to establish their sales team. So this video would be very beneficial, very helpful for all those people. So Abhishek, can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes. Hello viewers. So I completed my education from Pune University before I joined a telecom startup, which is Uniconnects in Private Limited. After that, I have worked in multiple industries from chip design, manufacturing, ID sales. Before I entered research industry, and in 2015, and currently I'm working with WiseGuy for 3 years as Vice President Sales.
So my first question to you is, we all know that sales is very difficult. It is far more difficult than rocket science. And establishing a sales team in a new company, in a new organization is very challenging. So what all challenges you faced while establishing teams?
So when we started off, even when we started off with WiseGuy or for that matter any startup, the first challenge is to attract the talent. Because new talent, when it comes to startups, they come with a very different set of expectations. So when you're hiring a sales team as a startup, I think it is very important that you first have to load down your expectation in terms of the talent that you want to hire. I think you need to be flexible. So when we started off, I think we looked more towards the attitude of the people rather than the skill sets. Because over a period of time, I think skill set is something that can be developed within a candidate, but I think right attitude is very important. And the team has to be a blend of freshers and experienced people, on account of cost, because startups tend to be very cost sensitive on that front. So, yeah.
So when it comes to training and development, don't you feel, Abhishek, that when it comes to startups, they don't have that kind of budget wherein they can stack their team for trainings? Most of these companies, they go for OJTs, on-job training. So how do you handle this kind of situation?
Well, that's the reality, Vineet, because startups do not have a luxury to have a special training and development department over there. So we are like, when we started hiring people, or other startups also, they hire next day. For example, be it a demand generation industry, you hire a person today. From tomorrow, they have to start generating leads. When it comes to sales, yes, we are expecting immediate revenues. So I think it is more of an on-the-job training, and once you establish yourself, and you can afford to have a separate training and development department. I think that is when the formal training comes into place. Otherwise, it is mostly on the job, because that's how even I have been trained in my entire career. And I think that's the best way to train a person on the job, because you're live over there and you understand the ground realities. So that's the best way.
Yeah, when it comes to startup, you don't have any choice.
Don't have any. Yes, you have to work with the available resources.
So my second question to you, Abhishek, is when it comes to startups or any organization as such, there is extreme pressure on shoulders of the salespeople, and you being the vice president or any of the sales heads, they have this pressure to an extent wherein they go into anxiety, they go into depression. So how you handle these extreme emotions?
So, as a leader, first of all, it is very important for you to be in control of your own emotions, because if you start having anxieties, then that tends to percolate down to the entire sales team. So, I think being in a position of vice president sales, it is managing expectations from both ends. It is whether it is from your teams or towards your directors. Especially when we are in a startup setup, I think cash flow is something that is very important. So there are few matrices that we have to manage daily when it comes to cash flows or other aspects of business. So I think yes, managing the expectations of your directors who do tend to get anxious at times, and managing expectations of your teams also. So that is something, if you're good at that, so I think it's all about people management.
So my next question to you, Abhishek, is that all these startups, all these young organizations, they go through lots of economic turbulences, and in these turbulences you have to handle situations like layoffs, you have to handle situations like terminations, and keeping the brand image of the organization intact and keeping your brand intact. So how you do that, how you manage this?
So I think Vineet, it is all about the performance matrix. I think even when a person is joining sales, I think the expectations are very clear that if a certain individual is not going to perform up to the mark, then obviously he or she will have to go. When it comes to terminations, I think I don't think we terminate people based on performances. I think it's mainly to do with values.
Yeah.
And if we talk about layoffs, which are on a larger scale,
Yeah.
when, as you rightly said, that
Yeah.
we do move in terms of move into turmoil and financial turmoil. So I look at it in a way that if I have to take care of 300 people currently, if letting go of 50 is going to save 250 people, I think that's a just decision to make. Yes, there is a backlash in terms of people saying that you people are heartless. These are the decisions, and but. So when we face it, I think giving a logical reason in terms of even the individuals that we have laid off, in terms of the performances, in terms of the attitudes and other things, I think that is enough to keep your team intact.
So how you manage your brand image? That's the biggest thing. So keeping organization aside, because everything is going to fall on your shoulder. When it comes to organization, the vice president sales becomes one of the most important person to be penalized for every action. So how you manage your personal brand?
So if you ask me honestly, Preet, I am not a person that is very brand conscious even when it comes to me as an individual. Definitely monitoring the brand image of the organization is very important. So I think as long as your values are percolated to the core team that you're handling, like you have your own core team, I have my own core team within. As long as they understand where you are heading, what you want to do, I think everything is taken care of.
So viewers, I am asking these very serious questions, and this is a situation that every organization faces. So any vice president out there who's experienced, who has gone through all those turmoils, is very much aware that what kind of setback the person gets into when he has to remove people from the sales team. And why I am saying sales team, because sales team is one of the most vulnerable team in any organization, because they are the ones who's going to face the most heat strokes when it comes to organization finances, because they are the ones who has to bring profitability to the organization. So to wrap up this vlog, my last question to you, Abhishek, would be, there will be so many entrepreneurs out there, all the startups, they must be going through this one situation wherein when you are establishing a sales team, you start with 2 to 3 people, and gradually that team grows to 25 to 30 to 50 people, and then there is a situation which the entrepreneur gets into wherein they have to choose the vice president. And this is a classic situation wherein they get into dilemma that who should be the vice president, the top performer of the sales team, the people who are performing the best in the team, or the person who's very good when it comes to managing the team. So what kind of qualities you think that should be there in a vice president sales? The classic top 5 qualities that should be there, which might make all the lives of entrepreneurs easy in choosing.
I think this is probably one of the most difficult decisions that an entrepreneur will come across when it comes to choosing a leader or a vice president, between somebody who is good at managing the team or somebody who is a performer. If you ask me personally, I think we should go with a choice where, me personally, I think people management is the single most important thing when it comes to managing high performing teams. Managing expectations is also very important when it comes to choosing your leaders as well. So I think apart from people management, you also need to consider the influence that a particular individual has in terms of the followers that he or she might have in the organization, because that's going to create an impact. So it is very important when you are choosing a leader to understand the people dynamics within the sales team, because over here you are choosing a person who is going to head a very critical function that's going to either take your organization to heights or
to bottom. To abyss. So viewers, thank you for watching this vlog. I request you to please share this video, comment, like, keep loving us, and please share new topics on sales that we can cover in our next video. Thank you and bye.
Thank you.